Welcome everyone, FPLMattDay here, and it's Euro 2024 Fantasy Team Reveal Live. If you're new, hit the subscribe button, be sure to give the video a like, and get any comments and questions or thoughts in ahead of deadline, which is tomorrow morning where me and FPL Ru are, and tonight for everyone that's in Europe, or today for everyone that's in Europe. So really exciting, nice little change to FPL. But I did just mention him. We've got FPL Ru on the podcast tonight in his England shirt as well, and his FPL Amateurs of Oz hat as well. He's all ready to go for the Euros. So welcome, mate. First of all, how have you been so far in the pre-season, effectively, of FPL, and are you looking forward to Euros?
Yeah, no, been good. Yeah, looking forward to the Euros. Obviously, it's a little bit difficult for us in Australia because I think most of the games are like 5 a.m. or 2 a.m. So it's going to be a bit of a struggle to watch them, but hopefully get up a few hours early for work and catch a couple games. And yeah, I've been enjoying the Euros, getting to players like Mbappe in your team and maybe even Ronaldo, some people. So yeah, no, it's exciting to own some different players rather than, I guess, just your typical Premier League players.
No, I agree. It's good. It is nice to have. There's so many options. There's so much choice to pick from. It's very simple. So this is basically Euro Fantasy is effectively just like the Champions League fantasy. So I'm not sure if you've played that yet, but
No.
It's basically the same game. Like the 3-ball recoveries, the you get the points for winning a free kick. The points for winning a penalty. So I know you get that in FPL, but like, for example, if Kane won a penalty in FPL and scored the goal, he only gets the goal points. Whereas in this, they get both. You get points for scoring from outside the box as well. So yeah, there's lots of stuff which makes it really interesting. One of the biggest changes as well is you only get 3 bonus points, and there's no 2 or 1. And the 3 bonus points are normally 9 times out of 10 for the genuine man of the match. So like with the Champions League, if you were the UEFA man of the match, you more than likely get the 3 points in the game. And it's the same in this. Do you think that's something maybe FPL should adopt, that if it's the official Premier League man of the match, then they should get 3 points and they should scrap 3, 2, and 1? What do you reckon on that?
That is a tough one. I do think the man of the match should get the 3 points, because I think sometimes maybe defenders and defensive midfielders definitely don't get enough points. Maybe defenders they get enough, but especially defensive midfielders, if Rodri's had a good game, or I don't know, I can't think of another, someone like Declan Rice, and they've been the best player on the pitch, but they don't really get that, or they've been the assist before the assist as well. Whereas, if you get, I think definitely should be the man of the match gets the most bonus points. But I wouldn't even hate having a bonus point systems for the 2 and 1 points. So you have 3 for man of the match, and then the highest in the bonus points gets 2, and then the second highest gets 1. And then that way you got the kind of best of both, I'd say.
No, I like that. I also find in FPL sometimes seems rigged with the bonus points, because a player might grab a penalty, right? Might grab a penalty, win the game 1-0. So he's scored the pen, but it doesn't actually impact the game in any other way. And there might be someone who's been absolutely brilliant, but they'll just give whoever's kind of in the limelight or whatever. It's strange. But anyway, this is Euro Fantasy. So let's get back into that. We'll just bring up a quick comment. FPL Pulisic, hope you're good, mate. It's great to see some faces again. Me and FPL Ru were just talking offline about if we're missing FPL and how we're getting on in the break, and a little bit of me kind of wasn't, because I'm enjoying the sleep that I'm getting from not watching games in the middle of the night here. But now I'm seeing people come in the comments. It's you miss these people, I think, on the YouTube and stuff, don't you, Ru? It's the people that connect with us and stuff. So
yeah, and it hasn't been the same, I think, especially with Twitter and obviously YouTube videos. I don't think it's been the same community talking about Euro Fantasy as it was with FPL. So definitely missed the people.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. And before we start sharing our teams, give FPL Ru a follow as well. He's been doing some Euro content, so give him a follow at FPL Ru. his tags there on the screen. What sort of content have you been doing, mate?
So I started off with, I always like to do how to play. Because obviously this game it's obviously a bit different to FPL. And then what I like to do is go through every team and kind of pick the best asset. And that doesn't mean like the best player all the time. It could be a player that's maybe a little bit underpriced. So I did that for every group and every team. And then yeah, mainly just my team selection, which hasn't really changed that much since the first one I did. But I'd say 2 or 3 players, maybe even 4 players, has pretty much furthered the whole squad. But I feel like the main players have stayed the same, and especially the front line has stayed the same. So yeah, I did a few team selection, and yeah, some of the best players from each team, and some of the, I guess, the hidden gems as well.
Oh, awesome, mate. And yeah, that sounds really good. And yeah, definitely check out FPL Row as well if you haven't done already. So now we will look to share screen and go through the team. We'll bring up this quick comment from PSB. It has been a long time. It feels like it's been ages, even though it's probably really only been a month or so. But yeah, we're both good, mate. Actually saw Rue a few weeks back. Spurs come to Melbourne to play, so Rue flew over and we caught up at the game. I reckon you need to sign up to Euro Fantasy. Just do it. Just pick a team, even if it's a template team or just a few players you like, and just give it a go, mate. Even if you don't, even if you're not even trying, just get a team out there. I reckon you never know.
Go for it.
All right, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
All right, let's share screen. So this is the live team reveal now. So we're going to start off and do my live team reveal first, and then we'll do FPL Rues after. So mine, I'm going to do strikers, midfielders, defenders, and goalkeeper. And then Ruse will just share the whole team and he'll talk about it. So we'll share screen now. If you have joined, we've got some good views now. So if you've joined from YouTube, give the video a like, get a comment or question in, subscribe if you're new. If you join from X, then jump onto the YouTube and subscribe or retweet and get questions in as well. We'll share a couple of comments as well as we go. So just before I go into my forward, so that's my team's 3 Pomeranians. So basically, the team name has come from my dog, who is a Pomeranian, and England being the 3 lions. And he's basically like a little lion. So I decided to call my team the 3 Pomeranians for just a little bit of fun. So that's the team name. We'll just bring up these quick comments. Neo, hope you're good, mate. Great to see you in the comments. And FPL Pulisic. Let's quickly rate his team before we go through mine. So he's got Lunin, Verbruggen, Fais, Grimaldo, DeMarco, Mittelslat, Gahey, Jorginho, Bruno, Xavi Simons, Wirtz, Foden, Mbappe, Lukaku, and Kane. Really strong. That's really strong, don't you think, Rui?
Yeah, very good. Close to mine. But the player I don't have is Grimaldo, and I think if he starts, I think he should start. But I really like him as an option. He's got so many assists this season, and yeah, he's going to be an attacking left back. So if he does start, which I think he will, he's a good option.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah. He's popular because Champions League fantasy for Benfica, he was just getting like massive scores. I think it was Benfica. He was just getting huge scores. And like I didn't even realize he was Spanish. When everyone was talking about him, I just thought he was from Portugal. Oh, can you hear me now? I'm back on. I think I just muted for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone knows Grimaldo. Anyway, let's go through my team. So this is my lineup. Strikers, very template. I've got Lukaku for Belgium against Slovakia, Harry Kane against Serbia, Mbappe against Austria. The only player I was kind of thinking of maybe changing was Harry Kane for Ronaldo, based on Ronaldo's obviously game against Ireland the other day. But then I just thought, you know what, like Kane's very highly owned, gets a lot of pens for England. He's got the opportunity to get assists. I just look at it and think if England scored a couple of goals and he got a goal and assist, I'd just be kicking myself not having Harry Kane. And I think Mbappe. You have to have him, and Lukaku. He covers Ronaldo with his record for Belgium. We've seen that in World Cup fantasy and Euro fantasy in the past. So that's my front 3. What do you think on it, FPL?
Yeah, I think very, very strong. What's your chip strategy? Because obviously I guess that would depend on our teams.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? And this is where I was starting to look at maybe Ronaldo over Kane, thinking is Czech Republic a better game than Serbia, with the fact that there's obviously a chip strategy in place. And how I'm looking at doing it is game week 2 or match week 2 was probably going to be a wait and see to see how my lineup actually did, like in terms of its form. And I was going to use maybe game week 2 or match week 2 as a wait and see, and limitless in the third game week. Because the third game week, you kind of know what everyone's got to play for, and the fixtures look quite good. And then maybe you get to change your team in the round of 16, and then maybe use the wild card in the quarters. But because I've been playing because this is like UEFA fantasy. I played the last Euro fantasy. I've played World Cup ones and all these. I always do find if you can maximize the chips in the group stages, it is a lot better. So a little bit means also thinking maybe just wild card in the second one, limitless in the third. So then by limitless in the third, I can get Ronaldo in against Georgia, which is probably the easiest fixture on paper. So then I'll be able to know, okay, are Portugal actually, and Ronaldo for one, is he actually looking good? So that's probably why I'm happy with the safety at the start with those three.
Yeah, and I think Serbia do look solid, but I feel like people always say they're going to do some good things with Vlahovic and Mitrovic and Tadic. But do they ever actually do anything in these tournaments? I'm not too sure. And we know Kane. We know Kane is going to play 90 minutes. Ronaldo could come off for Ramos. So I think it's a solid front three. And what a front three to own when, like, obviously you could have owned 2 of them in the Prem, but not anymore. And obviously people might laugh at Lukaku, but for Belgium, he's a different animal.
He's phenomenal. I still think he's a really underrated forward, and he's done the business at Roma. He's been on fire. He was good at Inter Milan when he was there, and thought like him going back to Chelsea probably wasn't a good move. And yeah, you're right. We could have had Kane and Lukaku together in FPL probably about 8 or so years ago when Lukaku was at West Brom and Kane was at Spurs, or when Lukaku was at Everton. You could probably have that combined for less than 15 mil. Like, it would have been dirt cheap, and they would have got you a lot of points. So yeah, owning them in Euro fantasy is pretty exciting. And I agree, like Serbia, always you think they're going to turn up and they never quite do. But we've got a question from Neo at YouTube. Is Trent a good pick for 5.5 million? He will most likely play up in midfield. For me, again, like talking of chip strategy that Rue said, it's a wait and see, because I actually think he's going to be a really good pick. But I don't think you need to have him straight away because there's so many other good options. But I think he's one of those. If he gets that first game and he looks at business, then you can bring him in for the second or third week. But yeah, what are your thoughts, Rue?
I just can't see him starting. I don't know. Maybe I've missed something, because I know a lot of people think he's going to start, but I really can't see it. I really can't see it, to be honest. Especially with, I think Stones has been isolating, so the back line's already weak. So do you want to, I guess, put Trent in midfield and make the midfield? I think make the midfield weaker. Personally, I don't think Trent is going to add any steel to the midfield or anything like that. He's obviously adding passing and creativity, but I don't think he's going to add the protection to that midfield. So I actually don't think he'll start, but I think a lot of people do. So maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, you're right. It's an interesting one. It's not like he's been one of the favourites for Gareth Southgate down the years, and Southgate has his favourites, so that definitely plays a part in there. And even if he comes into midfield, it's tricky. Yeah, you're right. It's an interesting one. I think if England went with three centre backs, so if they went with, say, if Stones, what's his name, Maguire is there? Who are the other three? We've got Stones, Kyle Walker might drop into his 3. Gahey, that's the one. Yeah. So if England went with that, and then they went with Trippier on the left side and Trent on the right side, and they got a back 3 behind them, give both of those fullbacks chance to license to attack, and then we might see that kind of inverted type of Trent that we've seen for Liverpool. But yeah, you're right. Midfield, like, the Southgate want to kind of do that in the first game. He's quite risk adverse, so
yeah. And I think if you wanted to do that, and they were training for that, and I know he's played like a few games for England in midfield, and he probably will play there rather than anywhere else. But I feel like, are you not better off saving that sort of move for maybe a quarterfinal and people are not expecting it? There's no point doing that against Serbia. I don't know.
It's a good point. Use it when you want to do something different.
Yeah, I think so. But but people think he's going to start. So again, maybe I'm wrong.
Well, the other thing as well I find with him is like, why not just play him in the position that he's used to playing in? Plays every
Yeah.
week for Liverpool. He's good there. Like, people talk about defensive this, defensive that, but like his attacking output and what he brings to the team, we've seen it in FPL as an example. I know FPL it's not the same as players' performances in the game. It's points driven, but like just play him there. Give him a go. England could go with they got a back three and. Yeah, but we'll see what happens there. But I think it is a good pick. Yeah. But I think you can wait till the second match week.
Yeah.
So let's go into my midfield. This is a very interesting midfield. And I think looking at this first up, and I think Rue will probably be looking at this thinking, what is going on with this team? Because there's a lot of, you're not seeing De Bruyne, you're not seeing Bellingham, you're not seeing Foden or Saka or Xavi Simons or all these guys that people are kind of saying. And one thing I will say in Euro Fantasy, the same happened in World Cup Fantasy and all these tournaments, is people pick players based on who they know from their clubs, and it doesn't work like that in international football. So you end up seeing players on really high ownership. So I've gone with this midfield. So I'll quickly just talk through it first. So Højbjerg's in there because I needed a cheap midfielder. And the reason he is in there is because Euro 2020, he was really good in Euro Fantasy. Then in the, and this isn't Spurs bias either, just because I wanted some more Spurs coverage, but the last two friendlies for Denmark, he scored 2 goals in 2. He's in a midfield 3, so he's got license to attack. And he's cheap. It was between him and Jorginho, and I was just like, if I'm going to pay $5.5 million, I'm going to go for someone that gets forward. Jorginho sits there and he's not guaranteed to be on pens anymore. So I've gone Højbjerg. Wirtz, I wasn't a huge fan of him. His performances for Germany, his goals for Germany, I think he's only got 1 goal. And it's not actually as strong as what it's been at Leverkusen. And I would prefer Musiala, the Bayern Munich player who's just been brilliant in UEFA Champions League fantasy. But I went with Wirtz because, again, ownership. I knew he was going to be highly captain in the first game. If he was to grab a goal and everyone else is captaining him, you're just going to completely sink. And I don't want that early on. Then next to him, I've gone Szoboszlai from Hungary. And again, I'm picking him based on not his FPL form. This is his international form, kind of like Shaqiri when people pick Shaqiri. His international form for Hungary is unbelievable. The amount of pens, free kicks, goals, doubles he scored, assists. He's the main man. I think someone's just said it in the comments. It's got Switzerland, which is an open game. And you've got to pick in international football these kind of best of the rest teams where they've got these fixtures where you can't pick who's going to win. So they're normally quite open. And then another wild card on the far side there, Sudakov from Ukraine. He got Player of the Year at Shakhtar in the last season. I had a look, and there's some games for Ukraine. He scored in a recent friendly. He's had games for Ukraine where he's come out with man the match. He's come out with 2 assists. He's come out with goals. And the thing with this fantasy format is the players get man the match based on being man the match, like we talked about earlier. So Sudakov could come out, have the game of his life, and he will get 3 bonus points. Doesn't matter if he scores, doesn't matter if he doesn't assist. So that's why I've got him in. And Romania's first tournament in a long time. It's a good fixture. So I wanted to change it up. This midfield didn't look like this the other day. I had Foden in there. I had a few other kind of bigger names, but yeah, I wanted to try and go for a few international favourite picks. So yeah, there it is, Rue. That's the midfield 4 for now. What do you think? Obviously, any surprises?
I think Højbjerg, even though I do know he plays more attacking for Denmark. And again, I thought Denmark were going to do well in the World Cup. They didn't, but the Euros they did very well. Got to the semis. And yeah, Højbjerg's just a different
ball
player
recoveries
for
as well.
Denmark. Yeah, that's it. You got ball recoveries. He's more attacking. He's almost like a number 10. I'd probably say attacking 8, but he's definitely gets up there. So I do like that pick, and it's a good fixture as well. Wirtz, I think, I actually do think he is the best German asset. I know a lot of people are going for Gundogan because of pens and he's cheaper, but I do think Wirtz is going to turn up this tournament, and what a season he's had for for Bayer Leverkusen lost one game, which was the Europa League final. So,
True.
Yeah, I do think he's going to turn up, and that's a good fixture against Scotland, who I think I've heard their right hand side or their left hand side is pretty weak. So,
Most of their
I think
team's weak, isn't it?
they smashed qualifying though. To be fair, beat
Yeah, they
Spain.
did.
So yeah, it's probably their right hand side because they got Tierney and then Robertson on the left. So it's probably their right hand side. So yeah, I do like Wirtz, and Szoboszlai is on everything. He's on corners, set pieces. Don't know if he's on pens. I think there was a comment saying he's on pens as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
he's on
why not?
pens.
And Hungary are a good team. Didn't lose to England over 2 games.
True.
And also they should have qualified in was it the World Cup or Euros? I think it could have been the World Cup, where it was like 3 of them were in a group and they kept changing who was going to qualify. So
yeah, I think that was one of the Euros before with Portugal in 2016.
Okay, yeah. And yeah, they should have, yeah, they're a good team. And then, yeah, Sudakov, I don't know anything about, to be honest. So how much is he?
So Sudakov is, I think he's 6.5. He's only 1% selected. 6.5 million euros. Remember, everyone, it's euros in this.
As a winger, or
I think he's plays in a 10. Yeah, so he plays in a 10. Let's see if don't want to go into my defense just yet, but he just had really, like, when I went through some of Ukraine's fixtures, I read about him. I saw this really good. I saw on Shakhtar's Twitter how he was their player of the season, and I just thought, you know what, Romania fixture. I'm playing the fixtures, especially with the chip. So yeah, it's a bit of a wild card at 1% owned, but yeah, it's different. But yeah, no, I like your analysis, mate. It's good.
Yeah, it does sound like a good player, and I think Ukraine will do well. To be honest, I think their team's pretty solid.
I think it's an open group, that one. I'm going to just pull up some stats from Sudakov, just to see if we can get anything. So
yeah, but I think that's the way why you get that up. But I think that's the way to go in most fantasy games, because I feel like there you've picked kind of the main man from every team. Maybe not Højbjerg is the main man, but he's definitely one of the main men for Denmark. Again, Wirtz is one of the main men for Germany, and then Szoboszlai probably is the main man for Hungary. So I think that's definitely a good way to go, because if that team does well, you know they're going to be involved.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. And Szoboszlai, I wanted the pens. I'm not sure who takes Ukraine's pens. It'd be nice. So let's have a look now who takes Ukraine, because there was another player for them. Yeah, Modric, and then there was Dovbyk, the striker, who's supposed to be really good, but just couldn't fit him in. Let's see who takes Ukraine penalties. Yeah, I can't find it. I guess we'll find out. Or probably, it could be Modric. But yeah, so Sudakov. So with Shakhtar last season, they got 10 goals in 34 games across all comps. Not too bad for a midfielder at 6.5 mil. And then for Ukraine, he's only got a couple of goals, but I think he's got a number of assists, which I'd seen in qualifying. So fingers crossed, he's in that 10. Let's see how he goes. I'm giving him a go. So that's the midfield. Yeah, exactly. Let's why not? So let's bring up some comments. Give the video a like if you're new. Subscribe. I think we've got someone in the studio waiting to come in the video, so we'll bring Q in from FPLMattDay very shortly. We'll just finish off my team before we do. We'll bring up some comments. So Rice with Trent alongside Jude as a 10 is the reports, but it's a risky move. Yeah. What do you think on this one? Who would you pick on this one, Rue?
Well, it's a tough one because I do like Jerry Simmons, but I feel like Frimpong might start right wing. So would that mean he'll play left wing?
Well, Simmons,
I think Szoboszlai, to be honest.
Szoboszlai, he's more nailed and he's a captain.
Yeah.
So I'd say Szoboszlai.
Yeah.
Neo said Szoboszlai's better since he's not on pens. I think he means is on pens and is the main man. Yeah, sorry, is on pens. FPL Pulisic, I can switch Jorginho for Højbjerg. If I switch Wirtz to Gundogan, I'll switch Jorginho for Chagavatse, starting mid for Georgia, and get Masala, or keep it the same. Wow, that's a few changes. I probably wouldn't make any drastic change to bring Højbjerg in. I will say it again, he is in there because I needed a cheap 5.5 mil player, but like I wouldn't be bringing down any trees to fucking bring.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a stream, but I wouldn't be doing it to bring in Højbjerg anyway, for sure.
Yeah. Or a Georgian player. I think they're gonna
or a
do
Georgian
that well.
player, yeah, for sure. All right, let's go through my defensive three. We'll bring Q in. He is waiting in the shoe. We'll bring him in once my team's up on the screen in form. We'll get him to rate the team. So I've gone with.
I was going to say, Q, this isn't Eurovision.
Yeah.
Australia are not in this one.
Yeah. No Ange propaganda tonight.
Yeah.
So we've got. I've gone Van Dijk. This was a tricky one because I had it on. So Dumfries has been a player I've had in UEFA Fantasy, Champions League Fantasy. I've had him in World Cup Fantasy. I've had him in 2 Euro Fantasies. He's just been so good. He's an absolute machine, and he's cheap, and he's 5.5 mil. But the reason I didn't do him this time, and I made a change earlier to Van Dijk, was because I looked at it and thought, playing for a clean sheet with a defender anyway. And then if he doesn't get it, your next thing you're playing for is a goal and an assist. And with Van Dijk having this great goal scoring form lately and being on pens for the Dutch, it's just like you kind of can't not have a penalty taking defender. It just makes it's just too good to turn down. So I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, fair enough. I think the Netherlands, like defensively, are so solid. Like
unreal.
Van de Ven's on the bench. Do you know what I mean? That's how good their centre backs are. And they've got Dumfries, Frimpong. Okay, maybe their left back's not great, but yeah, the defense is so good. The only thing I'm worried about with them is their midfield, because I think De Jong's out. They've had another big player out as well. I can't remember his name, but that defense is ridiculous. Like Ake, De Ligt, Van Dijk, Van der Ven's on the bench.
They could even play Ake or Van der Ven on the left because they're both left-footed.
Yeah.
So and Frimpong, yeah, that's the thing. Frimpong, 5.5 mil. A lot of people are like putting him in their team, and same as Dumfries. But like the thing you have with that is like, what if one of them doesn't start, or they could go Dumfries right back. They could put Frimpong right wing. If you've gambled on Frimpong at 5.5 mil and he starts right wing, you're going to be having an absolute potential field day because Poland apparently are really weak on their left side. So that's the only little bit of me where I'm like, God, I'm gonna feel like awful if Dumfries. It's gonna feel like FPL all over again if Dumfries does something, because he's always been my player. But I can't not have a penalty taking defender. Like it's just like gold. It's like gold.
And he's set piece for it as well. From corners.
Yeah, hugely. We've just had this here actually from Graham. Dutch starting team's room to be no Dumfries or Frimpong, but Gertrude at right back. I saw this as well, and I saw that Xavi Simons was apparently potentially not in the lineup because they do this like bib game where whoever's not wearing the bibs, but you never know. It could be mind games going into it. But if that's the case, then I'm pretty happy with Van Dijk then.
Wow. Yeah. Can't believe you've got them two right backs and you're not playing one of them.
Oh, yeah, it's mad, isn't it, if that's the case. Well, Frimpong would then maybe go right wing, which would be nuts.
Surely.
Imagine that.
Surely.
You'd think so. And then I've got DiMarco. He's been my top pick since the start. One, because I've had him in UEFA Fantasy. But then the last Euros, Italy obviously won it. Their defence was so many good picks. And like, Di Lorenzo is the one that I'm like, so many people are forgetting about how good he was in Euro Fantasy last time that maybe I'm missing a trick not having two Italians, especially with the Albania game. And then I've gone with, I'm going to have to bring it up to be able to read his full name, Mittelslat from Germany, because he's 4 million and they reckon he's starting at left back. So that's why he's in, and he's obviously got one of the, Scotland at home. Germany are the host as well, which we didn't even mention. So yeah, what do you think on the defence?
Yeah, I think it's solid. Italy are always good defensively, and DiMarco has obviously got attacking for it as well. And I think Mittelstat, I don't know if he's any good attacking wise, but Germany are normally solid, to be honest. So and that game, Scotland, although they did have a good qualifying, I've got them in my sweepstake, my family sweepstake. So I'm trying to big up Scotland a little bit, but I can't see them, scoring against Germany, to be honest. So I think it's a solid defense. Yeah.
No, it looks good. I hope so. And again, I agree. I don't know much about that German defender, but let's hope he is like the 4 million enabler.
Yeah.
Foden, is this a German player as well? I'm not sure. He could be. Sounds like Graham's got a good knowledge of some of the German players. So Foden or Musiala, this is for me. It's Musiala. I know a lot of people are probably thinking, why is it not Foden? But Musiala in that German team, the amount of goals and assists he has had during the qualifying, or the chance of him getting 3 bonus points if he has a good game is really high because he's always on the ball. So good in UEFA fantasy as well, just like Foden is. But I just think Foden in an England shirt he's good, but I just think Musiala's been more impressive for Germany, and statistically, he's done more than Foden in a German shirt than what Foden has in an England shirt. And this isn't FPL either. A lot of people probably think about FPL when they think of Foden and Man City, and it's not Man City that he's playing for. So for me, I'm going to go, I'd say Musiala at 8.5 mil. I really wanted him in my midfield, but you'll see on my bench in a minute that I couldn't fit him in.
Yeah. Yes, same, to be honest. I think he probably pays a little bit higher than Foden as well. And I think Germany have a better fixture than England.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. So the bib game, we heard Mental Slight is great. He takes frequent shots, even scored a banger the other day. Maybe captain him for the first game. Yeah, maybe captain him instead of Wirtz.
Wow.
Because if a defender scores and he has a good game, there's 3 bonus. Ball recoveries, clean sheet. I'm throwing in Trent in the matchday 1v Serbia. Love that. We did, had a few people mentioning him earlier. So let's go to my keeper. Pretty basic. I've gone with the Dutch goalkeeper because he's cheap. I've heard Poland have had some problems injury-wise. Don't know if Lewandowski's even going to be fit now. So I thought, let's just get 4.5 mil, enable a keeper in. So why not? Like Rue just mentioned, they got a great defense. So what do you think on the keeper pick?
Yeah, I think solid. And I think Coleman came out and said he's number 1 as well, which is always nice to hear. So
yeah, good.
Yeah, solid.
Good. Is he the one at Brighton? No?
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
So he's not. He's okay. He wasn't great at Brighton, to be honest.
No. And then number 2 is Flecken. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he was at Brentford. Yeah. Okay. So they're a bit weak in goal and in midfield, and probably the 2 weakest bits.
Yeah. I think that Coop Miners is a Dutch midfielder. Yeah. And I think he's out as well. So they've got De Jong and him out. So yeah, they're struggling in midfield.
They need Edgar Davids back. Let's go into my bench, and I've got some of Quinton's favourites on my bench. Actually, Q's going to love this when he rates my team, because I see some of his favourites, his Man United boys. So I've got Diogo Costa against Czech Republic. So this is just so I can have the Portuguese players for the last day. Diogo Costa. So for those that play UEFA Champions League, unbelievable penalty saver. I think he's got like one of the best penalty saving records in the Champions League or in Europe. It's ridiculous. So had to put him in there. Diego Dalot looks like he's starting for Portugal. 5 mil. Flashbacks of really poor for me in FPL, but then last day of the season he scored and got 15 points, and I had him on the bench. So I'm hoping he can make up for it in this one if I have to bring him on, because remember you can bring players on. Bruno Fernandes, great end to the season for Man United, was on form, unbelievable in the FA Cup final. So good for Portugal. So good for Portugal. So I had to put him in. And then FaZe, 4 mil, looks like he's starting. Okay, he's been in the championship for the last year, but easy to bring in against Slovakia if one of these defenders doesn't do anything. But remember, if one of your players gets sent off, you can't sub them off. So yeah, FYI. So that's my bench. What do you think on the bench?
Getting sent off.
Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. That's the risk. I'll tell you a quick story actually. So this might have been like Euro 2008 or something. It was ages ago. It was one of the first Euro games I played, and someone I know captained Bastian Schweinsteiger, and he got sent off. And it was like the first or second game. He got sent off, and you can't sub them off if they get sent off, and you can't change your captain. So they ended up with a -2 cap. It was awful. It was horrible. But it was so funny. So, but yeah, what do you think on that bench?
Yeah, solid. I do like Costa. I think I had him in the World Cup. I'm pretty sure he was very good. And Portugal, I think they're such a good team. The amount of options they got, their defense is ridiculous. Midfield, pretty good as well. And then obviously they got the attacking players like Bernardo Silva, Jota, Bruno Fernandes that you've got. So I think, having Portugal players, especially for that game, is a good option. And then, Fires, the Leicester defender, good game against Slovakia. Not sure if Belgium are that good defensively, but for 4 million, like, you can't really complain, I think.
Yeah, I think he's a bargain. And that's why I've kind of gone Portugal, because I think they got a good squad. It looks a good fixture on paper. The only thing I do worry about with them is their coach, Roberto Martinez, just never quite managed to get the best out of Belgium when it comes, later on in comps. But let's bring up some comments before we get put the full team on screen, and then Q can come in and rate it. So thoughts on Cancelo? If you can afford him ahead of Dalot, I'd be having Cancelo. What do you reckon, Rue?
Yeah, same. Yeah. You could probably downgrade Costa and try and get Cancelo for Dalot, but
true.
Is Dalot 5.5?
Dalot's 5. Dalot's 5.
Oh, okay.
And I think it gives me that option of, like, if say my key, like if the Dutch concede, doubling up, it then gives me an option to then bring in another double up for the last day and maybe claw back some points. The one thing I am missing is I did have Theo Hernandez from France, but then he got injured in training. And not having a French defender, I'm a bit worried about, because they have got a good fixture. But Graham just said Cooper Miners was the one who was injured and left the Dutch squad with Frankie de Jong. Jackie, how many times can you change your captain in match day 1? So once you can change it each night. So say there's like the Germany game's the first game on, you have your captain. Then the next day there's like another window opens. You've got 3 fixtures. You can change your captain. Then the next day you got 3 fixtures. You can change it. So you can change it all the way up until the last day of the match day. Welcome to the stream, Matt. Hope you're good. Graham, I think you can change captain every day before the first day. There you go. Chip strategy. Mine's going to be probably wildcard match week 2, limitless match week 3, or limitless match week 3 and wildcard in the quarterfinals. And I think Ruse, yours is pretty similar. I think Rue's just gone on mute. Or it might be. Yeah, there he is.
So match day 2, wildcard, limitless match day 3. But I was trying to build a wildcard draft today for match day 2, and it's just, I feel like I'm just going to want the same players again, to be honest. I know the tough teams have tough fixtures. The good teams have tough fixtures, but I don't know who to bring in. So it's going to be an odd wild card, I think, in match day 2. But that's what I'm going with at the minute.
I love it. And there's been some breaking news, actually, which we'll bring up in a second. It's going to really impact everyone's Euro fantasy team. I think Rue's just seen the comment, and I've just checked it, and it's legit as well. And this maybe makes the argument that we're having earlier about, or the debate about, do we swap Kane for Ronaldo? We don't even need to think about that now, because I'll show you this comment in a minute. Night 1, I'd probably say Wirtz just to be safe. But we were raving about Masala earlier. Sudakov is a great pick. I'm now confused between him and Kvaratskhelia. Kvaratskhelia is another one that was unreal in UEFA Champions League fantasy. So I like both. Morning, mate. Great to see you in the stream, or evening for us. But no worries. And this is the big news. Let's bring Q in for this big news. Because he's just sitting there. I feel bad now. He's just sitting there waiting to come in. Here he is. Let's see if I can move the screen. Q, welcome to the stream, mate. How you doing, mate?
Sorry, I was just watching you just blubber on, mate.
Yeah. All right. First of all, before we bring up that news, rate my team out of 10.
Yeah, it's not bad, actually. There's a couple of good differential picks. I like the Sudikov pick. Van Dijk. I was sort of looking at Ake as maybe a different option, but I think I heard you speaking about Netherlands' defense is usually pretty solid, so I like the pick. And a Højbjerg pick, I'm not 100% confident on, but I mean, I could offer you an alternative pick to that one. I'd get in your head, mate, and make a late
It's not
substitution.
Jorginho, is it?
No. Oh, well, that's also a good pick, but Rodri from Spain.
Yeah. Problem is he's 6.5.
Coffee.
And so my alternative was Declan Rice, because ball recoveries and he's got an eye for goal. And he does grab goals and assists, but Price, mate. It's Price. But you know what? Now with this big breaking news, so what do you rate out of 10? 7, 8, 9?
About 7.5, I think.
7.5? Ruthless. I even put his Man United players in there for him.
No, I think it's a pretty decent squad, actually, to be fair. And Dallo could be a nice little differential pick as well.
I love it, mate. Well, I might have that extra million to bring in Rodri now, because
So I just did
is
I had a
out.
look. Rodri, what his Euros qualification campaign, he averaged 7 recoveries per game. And then I think the last 6 games of the season for City, he averaged 8 recoveries a game.
Well, he might be coming in my team because Mbappe is out due to being unfit. And I've just done a little search online, and he's right. Apparently, he's sick he missed training, and so was Kingsley
Does that
Coman.
mean Griezmann is a really good pick?
It's not a bad shout. That's not bad. How can you go into this game, France-Austria, without any French players?
Yeah.
That does make Griezmann a very good pick, actually, Q, unless he's got the bug. This is huge. There's always something.
But
it's like FPL. There's always something that goes on. It's never
when's
easy.
the France game, though? Surely, how long does it take to get over a bug?
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. The France game is...
French game is Tuesday our time, which would be Monday UK.
Okay.
So,
This could go to the wire with Mbappe. Might have to put Ronaldo in now. It's not even it's going to be tough if Mbappe comes out. That could go all the way to the deadline. All the way to the deadline.
Well, Mbappe could nearly miss the second game if they win against Austria.
Exactly. So, yeah, huge. Hope Dallas starts, but Mendes is pushing him for a start. Thanks, mate. Captain Havertz, I was going to go Cruz. But I don't know if he's replied to that. Mikalenko, Mendes, or any French defender. I'd probably go Dallo. I've seen Dallo's. If you're going to go Mendes, I've seen Dallo. He started like so many games and so many qualifiers for Portugal. So I'm going to stand on the fact I think Dallo starts.
What about Muani from France?
You're testing my knowledge of the French team, to be fair.
I don't know who that is, to be honest.
I know Koundé is good for France.
Because I was just looking at their last few games, and he scored a goal in the last 4 games.
He's a striker, though. Is he the striker? Sorry, he's the striker, yeah?
Yeah, he plays for...
Oh, you mean from Mbappe?
Yeah,
I did see that. When I saw him the other day, I thought, maybe he's going to be like a budget midfielder, but yeah, he's a forward. Yeah, if they start him. We need to find out more about this Mbappe news before, I think, to see. But Verbruggen is going to play over Flecken. Similar strategy to us. Kylian news.
Sexy Giroud?
Yeah, although the thing that puts me off about Giroud was that World Cup where he didn't have a shot on goal, and then he still managed to do it. So we've got Matt saying everyone will be on the GOAT now. I saw this comment earlier from someone on Twitter, and then everyone's been from that FPL damn mate, and then everyone was like, Messi isn't European.
Yeah, Højbjerg is though.
Yeah, yeah.
Haven't seen Messi scoring bombs from about 35 yards out lately, so...
Oh, yeah. Q loves a bit of Ronaldo. Mate, that debate ended about a year ago, I think. However long. When was 2022? Neo YT, thoughts on 0 French players in my squad? Because I was thinking of going limitless in MD3, and France have a tough fixture on match day 2, so it will save me some transfers next week. It's not the worst idea. It's hard to pick who's good and bad now. If Mbappe's out and Hernandez is out, you're probably missing two of the big hitters. Okay, so that's that striker Q, the one that missed that final chance right at the end from Martinez's save. That's who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Redemption, mate. It's the Cinderella story.
It is. It is. All right. Let's
what about Kai Havertz as a Mbappe replacement? 7.5.
Yeah, not bad. I just
like Havertz.
don't know if I want to go all out in Germany first game. Like they've not been on great form, and I don't think it's their best team. I know they're hosting, and normally the hosts do well, but yeah, I don't think it's the worst. Though he was on form at the end of the season. Castells or Lunin. I like the Lunin pick. Castells is the Belgian keeper, though. Yeah, I do like the Lunin pick because of his price, but Castells I think is more money.
Yeah. I think
let's bring up Rue's team now. Before I do, welcome to everyone that's joined. Give FPL Rue a subscribe. Go check out FPL Amateurs of Oz as well on Twitter, YouTube as well. Q's got YouTube. Just go check all of his content out, and then give his channel a subscribe, like, comment, the usual. But let's share Rue's team now. Which could be, to be honest, like our teams could all be subject to change with that Mbappe news. It's actually really annoying because I didn't want to bring in. I didn't want Ronaldo because I just didn't want. I'm not feeling. I know I've got a few Portugal players, but I'm just not 100% sold on him in this tournament. Nah, not in the England game. All right, I'm going to zoom. Rue's team.
And you're going to have to take out a Portugal player now if you bring in Ronaldo.
Might have to be Dallo, and I can't do Cancelo. I might find another striker because I just look at it and think, yeah, like got a basis on what we know from the most recent international tournament, and England got to the quarterfinals and were pretty good. France obviously got to the final and were good. Portugal dead ended in the group, all went sour. Yeah, and I don't think you can take too much from qualifiers.
Memphis Depay?
Yeah. Gakpo is good for Holland as well. The Netherlands.
Even
Gakpo,
when Portugal won it, didn't they get 3 draws in the group?
I think they only won 1 game in 90 minutes. And that was when they changed the rules and it was...
What about the workhorse, mate? Get the workhorse in.
No, I'll never put Weghorst in my team, mate. Never. awful pick. It was rubbish in my FPL team as well.
Man United great. Workhorse.
Might just sell all my United players now. All right, let's share a screen with FPL Rue's team. We'll see how it differs to mine. He's worried now because there's no Sudakov. All right, so Højbjerg, yeah. In saying that, so Rue's got the same front three as me: Lukaku, Kane, and Mbappe, obviously for now. Wirtz, who I've got, he's got Rodri, who Q mentioned. He's got Xhaka. Xhaka was actually in my team from the start, and I was thinking him, and then I obviously went with Højbjerg or Sudakov instead. And then in defence, he's got FaZe, who I've got as well, DeMarco, Mittelstad, and Verbruggen. So same as me, but then he's gone with Gahey in defence instead. He's got Lunin, who's a good pick. Fernandes, who I've got. Calhanoglu from Turkey, and Cancelo. So, Rue, that's your side. Talk us through some of your picks and why you've gone for them.
Yeah. Cool. So I won't go too much on the ones that you've got and we spoke about, but yeah, the front three, I guess, explain themselves, and obviously Mbappe will probably have to come out now. But Rodri, so he's on pens.
Is he on pens?
And I've heard he's on pens.
Okay, wow.
And he's had his best attacking season for City this year, so hopefully he can take that form into the Euros. And obviously you've got ball recoveries as well. The only thing is, obviously that's not the easiest game, Croatia, and I don't know how good Spain are at the minute. But I think if that game kind of goes how I feel it will go, I think it will be like a midfield battle, Modric v Rodri. And who knows, he could end up picking 3 man of the match points. So yeah, that's why I've gone for Rodri for the pens, ball recoveries, and hopefully get a man of the match if it is that midfield battle between Modric and Rodri. Xhaka, much more attacking, and he was for Arsenal, to be fair. Before he left, he obviously had Thomas Partey behind him, and then he was more of a, I guess, number 8. And I think he's definitely more attacking for Switzerland. I don't love the fixture because I do think Hungary are good, but I've struggled really for anyone else at that price. But my most recent move did leave me with 1 million in the bank, so I still can make a move and go for someone, I guess, that's 7.5 million rather than 6.5 million. And then defense, I had Pickford in, but I felt like I think I just wanted to get someone cheaper for that England defense. I'm not overly sold. I know they normally do well defensively in tournaments, but I'm not sold with the injuries. And I heard John Stones was been isolating or something. So I just went for Gahey, and it wasn't too much of a risk. 4.5 million, get coverage of that England defense, and then yeah, the rest of the defense is the same as yours. And then Lunin, I think it's a good fixture for Ukraine against Romania. I think they're going to do well in that group, to be honest. And yeah, Bruno, and then Çalhanoğlu for Turkey. So I think Georgia are one of the weakest teams. He'll be on all set pieces. He's had a not bad season for Inter. And the only thing is, I think he doesn't play really attacking. I think he is I won't say defensive midfielder, but he's not an attacking midfielder. So from open play, I don't think I'm going to. Yeah, he's on pens, free kicks, corners.
Okay, well.
But yeah, I don't think from open play is that great. But who knows against Georgia? I think Georgia are going to be one of the weakest teams in the tournament. And then Cancelo, in qualifying, he's done really well. We know what he can do with FPL, and yeah, good fixture for Portugal. And yeah, I do really, really like their team. I think the only downside, I think, for Portugal is their manager. So if they had a different manager, I think they'd win it. But I think they'll still do well. And I think Cancelo, obviously, we know he can get goals, assists, and as well, I think Portugal will be solid defensively.
I love it, mate. Really good team, and yeah, I like it. I'd say I like the Çalhanoğlu pick. He was in UEFA Fantasy for Inter Milan, and he was quite decent. So I like him. I like the Rodri pick now, especially that he's on pens. Xhaka was one of the first ones I had in my team to begin with, and then I just didn't go through with it. Gahey's an interesting one. Like I've stayed away from too many England players because I've just not. I think the team's pretty together. Just there's something that's just something I'm not so sure on at the moment with England. Some of their results, and they still don't really seem to know what 11 they want. But I think having some England coverage is still good because he's cheap and you can always just sub him off for Cancelo anyway. So yeah, I like the team. What do you think on his team, Q?
Yeah, no, I like it. I think similar to yours, there's a couple of good differential picks there. Xhaka is a really good pick. I think similar to Rodri, I think he'll be getting recoveries and he does pop up the odd goal as well. So yeah, no, I think. Do you think FaZe he'll start for Belgium? Because I've got him on my side as well.
Yeah, we were saying earlier. I think he's going to start for his price as well. I think he's one of their starters, isn't he, Rue?
Yeah, he'll start. Yeah, and for 4 million, it's just
can't go wrong.
Good to,
and he's one of them.
I don't know how good Belgium are defensively, to be honest, but for 4 million,
yeah, you can't go wrong. But great team for Rue. I like it. I like some of the differential picks. He's obviously got the front three. What are you going to do with Mbappe if he does end up saying like, look, I don't think he's going to make it?
No idea. Probably going to have to go Ronaldo, I'd say. But I've already got 1 million in the bank, so really, I was going to ask, what do you think I should do with that 1 million? But I guess now taking out Mbappe for Ronaldo, because Ronaldo is cheaper, is 1 million cheaper. So I'm going to have 2 million in the bank once I do that, which I can probably do Xhaka.
You could do Masiala for Xhaka.
Yeah, wow.
If you wanted that extra German, or you could even go an England player, Saka, Foden, maybe Saka.
Or go Gahey to Van Dijk. And
definitely think you need another Dutch player in there. Whether it's a Van Dijk, a Dumfries, I'm actually really think if Mbappe's out, I'm even preferring one of the Dutch attackers. We saw how good Depay has been in Gakpo for the Dutch in these tournaments. So I'm kind of edging towards one of them ahead of a Ronaldo, to be honest. So we'll have a think. We'll see what happens. And we'll keep Rue's team up for now, though, on screen. We'll just go through the comments. and then we'll bring up Q's team.
I sent you the updated one of my team as well.
Oh, awesome.
With no Mbappe or
yeah. So Griezmann's a good shout. Giroud to come in, maybe. I'm not sure. Might bring in from Mbappe. Already owns Kai. Wouldn't panic too much. Mbappe to come back later in the tournament. Rodri is on pens. Got this comment here asking about FaZe Q and just saying that they did defend well in the tournament, so didn't concede much. De Kuyper will be a better pick instead of FaZe for Belgian defences. He's their starting fullback. That's good to know. What's his price, though? That's the thing. Let me know in the comments. Thoughts on Xavi Simons? We were talking about him earlier, and we're just not I think he's a great pick if he starts, but we're just not sure if he's going to get the game. So let's stop sharing that. Let's share Q's team, and we'll get Q to talk through his side. Let's just find it. There it is. Here you go, Q. Make sure you put that German defender in your lineup before deadline as well. But yeah, let's talk. Talk us through your teams.
See, I've made one change. I've went Dumfries to Ake, and then I've changed out Mbappe to Ronaldo, and then went Cancelo to Saliba. But I actually low key think Hungary are going to be good.
Yeah, that's why I got Szoboszlai.
I don't think Saliba's going to play.
You don't reckon?
I don't think he's in starting 11.
Who?
They do have a disgusting starting 11, so it wouldn't surprise me if he missed out.
Saliba.
I did see today, though, because Sia Hernandez pulled out of training with a knee injury. So there was a retweet on someone earlier saying that Deschamps is considering Saliba will now start with Konate, I think it is.
Okay, not Uefa McCann. At left back, maybe.
Yeah, good point. I forgot about him as well. Yeah, they must be doing that. Yeah, because Hernandez plays left side, but then they got Pavard. I know you don't know with France. They got so many players. They got about 100 players.
It might change with the injury. To be fair. Yeah,
that's true. To talk about Q, you obviously got the template front three. Midfield's pretty similar to mine, other than Rodri. I thought you'd have maybe a few more random differentials in there, Q. What's going on? You've always got one or two, unknowns.
Well, actually, I did have Kai Havertz instead of Lukaku. Then I had Kevin De Bruyne in the middle of the park. But yeah, I'm not fully sold on this side. I think there's maybe about 7 plays in there that are 100% going to be in there by lockout. But yeah, I'm sort of tossing up even going the double up in the midfield instead of going Ronaldo up top, going Bernardo Silva and Fernandes in the middle of the park.
Silva's a great pick. I've seen a lot of people ask about him, and yeah, he's really good in a Portugal shirt, and he gets tons of ball recoveries as well.
Yeah, and then Havertz up top, I think, is a good pick, and I've sort of played around with maybe a Memphis Depay as well, but I think Netherlands could be defensively good, but not scoring a lot of goals, and I think it might be quite spread out.
Yeah,
and looking at the workhorse, I know you're not a massive fan, Matty, but he's scored in their last 4 friendly games. So
I don't know about him. No,
he transformed into one of the best. He's like the Dutch Harry Kane, mate, when he plays for Netherlands.
Oh dear, he won't be coming near my team. All right, let's bring in some comments. So the De Kuyp comment, 4.5 million for De Kuyp. Zaki, welcome, mate. Great to see we've got some support from Kenya. That's awesome. Reminds me of Wanyama. He was from Kenya.
Yeah.
To Wanyama. Do you see Ronaldo outscoring the front three you currently have? If Mbappe starts, and then obviously Kane and Lukaku, who I've got, and Q's got that front three, and Rue has, then no chance. Konate might be starting ahead of Saliba. Dovbyk or Havertz, it's got to be Dovbyk for me. Really good for Ukraine. Maybe because I've got a Ukrainian player in my team. I'm kind of don't know why I got this hype for Ukraine all of a sudden. Upamecano and Saliba as a pairing, apparently. Dumfries not guaranteed to start. We did speak a bit about that earlier. Cortex, Mendy at left back, Koundé, Klaus Pavard right back. L'Equipe reporting that Fofana might start ahead of Rabiot in match day 1. And another hoops. I like the Bernardo Silva pick. I'm tempted to go triple Portugal attack. Loving all the comments. Get some more comments, questions, thoughts in. Subscribe if you're new. Give the video a like as well. Let's rate Q's team, Rue, out of 10. I'm going to give it... I'll start. I'll give it a... I'm going to say the coach is Ange Postecoglou, and then, to be honest, mate, there's no Ronaldo, which I thought you'd have him, and there's no Dallo, and there's not many Man United players. There's just Bruno. So I'm going to give your team...
It's pretty much been Man United all year, mate. Just Bruno.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to give your team an 8.5 because it's strong. To be honest, actually, the only thing maybe that's stopping it being a 9 is I'm not 100% sure Jorginho is going to take pens. But at the same time,
he's
I've got
more there for the
Højbjerg,
recoveries.
Yeah, he's good for the recoveries, and he's playing for a decent side. So, yeah, I think 8.5. I'd give that. What do you reckon, Rue?
Yeah, I'd probably say 8.5 as well. Yeah, I'm just not sure. So you got Ake instead of Dumfries, right?
No, he's got Dumfries. Yeah. Oh wait, you've changed that.
Yeah, I've changed. At the moment, I got Ake's. I sent you the updated one. If you look again in the inbox, the last one I sent you.
If that's the case, I'll pull that down to an 8 because I think Ake's good, but I think if you're going to go for a Dutch player, there's so many other options. Then again, if Ake plays left back, we've seen him get a few big scores in FPL from out of nowhere.
Mate,
so
it's the tournament for the Predator to step up, mate.
Yeah. Let's bring up some comments. So Rue's giving it an 8.5. He's going to give it an 8 now as well. He's giving it an 8. Yeah. Do you think he should have more England players in the team?
It was torn because who would you go, Jude or Foden? Because everyone in the world thinks Foden should start, and he should, but he probably won't. And it's frustrating.
Bellingham's so highly owned because he's obviously was good in Champions League fantasy, but his form at the end of the season was really poor. I know he won the Champions League, but he wasn't actually getting the numbers in UEFA Champions League fantasy, and he didn't get it for like the last 6 or 7 games where he was really good in the groups. I think England players in general, a lot of people just lost a bit of interest in them this last week with that Iceland result.
It's tough as well because Saka obviously has had that injury since the end of the season. I think did he come on the other day against Iceland, or did he start? But
probably limped his way on the pitch.
Yeah, he's not. Even if he does start, I can't see him playing 90 minutes straight away. And then Foden again doesn't really do it for England. Bellingham, is he going to play next to Rice, or is he going to play number 10? It's tough, I think, to pick an England midfielder.
No, do you think Mano might start in the middle of the park, or do you think he will be like a week 2?
Maybe. We actually have that question here. Do you think Trent will start midfield for England, or Manu will start instead? I don't think that Manu should start yet. I think it's good that he's in and around the squad, but I don't think he needs to be in the lineup just yet. So I'm going to say, no, I don't think he will start. What do you reckon,
I think Conor Gallagher will start.
Yeah, same.
To be honest. And I think, I think that Rice, Gallagher, Bellingham, midfield, and then Foden off the left. But I don't love that. I'd rather play Bellingham next to Rice and then have Foden number 10 and then Gordon on the left or someone.
Yeah, I like Gordon. Gordon's a good player. Cole Palmer as well.
Cole Palmer, yeah. So many options.
Yeah. Zaki, Victor Wanyama is our hero in Kenya. Former Spurs player. He was brilliant for Spurs for the first couple of years. He just got a bad injury and just never quite recovered, which was a shame because if he never got that injury, probably would have been at the club for even longer because he was brilliant.
Yeah. I was there for his goal against Liverpool. Do you remember?
That was insane. Insane.
Yeah. That game was crazy.
Yeah, that was underrated.
Kane
you
missed
get
the
in-
pen.
Is it Mæhle from Denmark?
He's a good pick. So he's a good
Yeah.
pick because he was good in Euro 2020 fantasy, and he gets so far forward. Basically like a winger the way he plays. But yeah, I think Rue mentioned earlier, like Denmark had a pretty poor World Cup. A lot of people need to remember the World Cup wasn't that long ago. Like
But they're
it's
not
only
playing
about a
the
year and a
Socceroos
bit
this
ago.
time around, mate. So they should be all right.
Yeah, true, mate. Because the Denmark played the Socceroos, and they you're not wrong. So Cortex has gone Saka and Trent. Yeah, not bad. Apparently, he's going to play in midfield. Who do you guys got winning the tournament in Germany? Well, I actually did a tournament predictor video, but I might as well just say who wins on it now. I went France. Rue?
I got Portugal or England.
Portugal or England? Rue?
Yeah, I went England.
England?
Yeah.
On
He's
paper,
gone-
England have the most informed squad at the Euros. Like if you're looking at players from the past season, I can't think of any other team that has that many players that were just red hot. Like Watkins, Kane, Foden, Saka, Palmer, Gordon,
It's
Rice.
true. I did read a good thing earlier though, and it was like I might have even retweeted it, and it was a lot of these players have never done it or played for England. Only Kane and Saka have scored more than 10 goals for England.
Yeah. The squad
So
was
none of-
wild, I think. The squad, like
Yeah.
the players he left out was, I don't know, which is what everyone,
you got Eze.
people would have moaned no matter what.
Yeah, it's
Like
true.
you got Eze in the squad
Yeah.
as well, who I think could be like anything at the Euros if he gets some game time.
Yeah, I'm not sure on Southgate. I've never been his biggest fan. I just
Just a
think
defense.
it's just yeah. But I want to stick with France because they were unlucky, very close in the World Cup. I think they're unlucky not to win it in 2016, the Euros. Then again, now I'm seeing this virus in their team though. Yeah,
Is
I feel like
Christian
it's
Eriksen?
France or England. Eriksen's definitely a good pick for sure because he turns up in a Denmark shirt. Like, then this is what me and Rue were saying earlier. Like, there might be players that are no good for FPL, but like international football is not what it probably was 20, 30 years ago. It's a lot like you can get players that don't do anything at club level and they're just unreal for their nation. Like, look at Shaqiri; he's always so good. I think like Eriksen didn't have a great season, but he could come into Denmark and bang in a few goals. So,
Yeah, I could see him linking up with Rasmus Højlund.
Højlund's not a bad actual pick. He apparently was really good in the qualifiers. He could be an alternative to Mbappe. Barella for 7 million would be a good pick now that people have extra funds. Portugal squad is mental. Have a look at it and how deep it is. Yeah. True. It's just a shame it's been managed by Martinez. I think Germany wins it. All their players are in good form, and it's their home tournament. Wouldn't put it past me because whenever people don't think Germany are going to do well, they make the final. Here we go, Sam. Sam said you don't prefer Çalhanoğlu over Rodri considering the fixtures. Turkey have much easier fixtures in Spain. Tough one. Well, Rue, you've gone with him.
Yeah, I've got both, but yeah, I like him. He's more attacking than Rodri. He's on all set pieces, playing Georgia as well. Rodri's got Croatia, but I think Croatia are probably a bit past it now, to be honest. But they're still going to be tough to beat. I probably prefer Çalhanoğlu, but I got both. This
is the thing I'm finding with Euro Fantasy. It's so easy to talk yourself into a player that you really want. I've done it with that Sudakov guy. I've barely seen him play. I don't even know if I've seen him play a minute. I don't even know if I've watched Shakhtar Donetsk or
what does he look like?
I do know he's got dark hair, bit of a buzz cut. I think. So we'll see, mate. We'll see. Dark horse of the tournament. We'll start with UQ.
Me or Rue?
Yeah, we'll go at UQ.
Would Italy be a dark horse? Because I don't think they're in the conversation.
Only because they won it last time. I'd say just because they're the holders, I don't reckon we'll put them as a dark horse. I reckon anyone that isn't England anyone that isn't England, France, or Italy.
Maybe Netherlands then.
Netherlands. That's what Cortex said. What about you, Rue?
I'm going to say Portugal if I can.
Yeah, you can say them.
Just their squad is ridiculous, honestly. Bernardo Silva, Jota, Fernandes, Ronaldo,
João
Diaz,
Ramos.
Cancelo, Felix.
Ramos.
What's the AC Milan guy? Leao.
Oh, Leao.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you got
ridiculous.
Gonzalo Ramos as well.
yeah, true. I'm going to say... I wanted to say Netherlands because we've already had that a couple of times. I'll say Germany because they've got Nagelsmann in charge. Home, although I kind of was saying I don't think it's their best team, and there seems to be a little bit of trouble. I think at home when they're not as fancy, they always do well. So I reckon Germany. Kalinoglu's on pens too. He is, isn't he, Rick?
Yeah.
Said?
Yeah.
This guy's gone Kalinoglu over Rodri. Look, any other thoughts? Any final thoughts? Let's do before we wrap up. Rui?
Oh yeah. Any final thoughts? I just think maybe some advice. I got some advice. So we're obviously going to be taking out Mbappe, and I guess the player that we're going to bring in is someone cheaper. I'd just say try and not rip up your team because you're taking out Mbappe. You've obviously picked these players for a reason. I know you've got more money now, but maybe just use that on one other player. Don't start changing your whole team because I feel like you're going to look back and be like, why have I changed my whole team just because Mbappe was injured?
It's true. It's almost like having Haaland in FPL, and then you're like, I've got all this money, so I'm just going to bring in all these players.
Yeah. I think use it on one player.
Yeah.
So Mbappe out and then upgrade someone else.
Awesome. And Q, any tips?
Maybe if you're looking at like in the midfield, you need some budget plays. Maybe look at players that have a good history of ball recoveries because it's not the worst thing to have someone who's just going to be there and get ball recoveries. They might not get any goals, but you're happy if they get 4 or 5 points with ball recovery. Yeah. So
that's true. It does add a whole other dimension. If you get a player who gets 9 ball recoveries, that's 3 points, and it gives them a higher chance of getting man of the match as well because they've obviously had a good game if they're always doing the ball recoveries. But let's do a quick before we finish up. We'll bring up these last couple of comments. Bought in Griezmann from Mbappe. And anyone in France is good now that Theo and Mbappe are out. Well, maybe Griezmann, that other striker that Q mentioned, and Ioane, and then I think Coman's injured, he's ill as well, so I wouldn't go near him. Let's do our golden boot. Martial, yeah. Let's do golden boot picks. Q, golden boot.
Actually, I think Kane will get it. I think he's going to get enough goals in the group stage that it's probably going to be a bit hard for him. I can see one game him getting like 2-3 goals. But I'd low-key really want Ronaldo to get it for his legacy.
Fair enough. Yeah, he needs to pull back some at the international level, I think, Ronaldo. But I love the Kane shout. Rue?
Yeah, it's got to be Harry Kane, I think. The fact that he's played in Germany a whole year.
Yeah,
he's won the golden, whatever the European golden boot is called. Golden shoe. On pens, obviously. And obviously we've got these, I feel like we've got more creative players now like Foden and Saka, and I feel like they're going to be winning a few pens. So, yeah, Harry Kane.
Yeah, Kane. I wasn't going to say anyone other than Kane, 100%. Yeah. I normally put a little bet on it, but I'll see what his odds are. But now with the Mbappe news, yeah, Kane is a good point about him being in Germany for the last year. Didn't really think of that until you sort of mentioned that tonight. So, I think he's a standout for me. We'll bring up the last couple.
$15 for Harry Kane into England golden boot winner double.
You can get 15. Okay, wow. I've got a I've got a voucher, so I wonder if I'll still be able to get those odds tomorrow. Well, surely they'd go up if a German player got 2 goals, and Kane's odds would go up, wouldn't they? So yeah, I've got another day. I've got a voucher to use. So I think I'm going to slap it on Kane for the golden boot. Cortex just said, "What about Dembele? Yeah, he's always a nice shout. Any potential replacements for Szoboszlai? Don't tell me he's injured as well. If you're looking at bringing him out, if you were going to do it, you'd probably look at someone like Mudryk from Ukraine at 7 million. Is quite a good pick for someone different, because you're probably going to want to go differential again, because Szoboszlai is a differential. Lukaku could bang goals, and he scored 9 in the qualifiers. Yeah, he's always up there in these golden boots, always in these tournaments. But look, we'll look to leave it there. It's been a really good stream. Subscribe if you are new here. If you play Fantasy Premier League, subscribe as well. Give the video a like. Go check out at FPL Amateurs of Oz as well. Quinton, he's on the screen there. So go and check out his page. Check out at FPL Rue. He does a bunch of YouTube as well. He's got all sorts of Euro videos. Out there does FPL. Q does FPL as well. So we'll be back with FPL probably over the next few weeks, I'd say, once all the fixtures and stuff come out. So yeah, we'll be back soon. Yeah, good luck, everyone. Don't forget the deadline is today. And don't forget that you can captain a player in this first game. And as long as they don't get sent off, then you can then change the captain tomorrow. So captain either a Germany or a Scotland player tonight. But yeah, as long as they don't get sent off. So yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks for coming on, Q. I know you. I left you in the studio for a little bit, but yeah, thanks for coming on, mate.
No, it's all good, mate. Just don't let it happen again.
And thanks, Rue, for coming on as well, mate.
Oh, good. Thanks for having me.
I love it. And last couple of comments, could be someone underrated like Czech Republic. You never know. Like, we're just looking at it, assuming they're easy teams, but let's be honest, how many of us have actually watched Czech Republic play a full 90 minutes? Like, I haven't. So
no, I only know Milan Baros. There's one of
yeah. Or Nedved. Nedved. And then Mbappe, yeah, he is a doubt. Apparently he's ill. So let's see how we
play
go.
For Czech Republic?
Souček does, so does Soufal.
Yeah, there you go. Those are the two that I know. Soufal in the Premier League team of the season. So, man in form.
Yeah, and they got Felix as well. I think
I'm pretty sure he was.
No, he was in like the non-top 6 pick, I think, when people did that. He was in Q's. And who was your coach, Q? Surely it was Ange.
My facts are right 60% of the time, every time. Coach, Ange Postecoglou.
Yes, love it.
He's going to be on UK television on ITV.
Yeah, he's on ITV. He's a pundit. Yeah. He's a pundit for the Euros.
Yeah. Exactly.
Not sure what he's doing there. And he needs to learn how to defend set pieces before he starts going become a pundit.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting actually seeing Ange on that. I guess he can talk about it because he is Greek. Like, he's born in Greece, Greek heritage. So they did win it in Euro 2004. So
yeah,
he's going to
have a lot wild in North London when that happened.
Was it?
Mate, if Spurs get Eze, it's game over. It's game over.
Ange gets Eze.
That'll be nice.
I hope so. We'll bring up the last 2 comments. Can we trade Mbappe out later in the round if he's confirmed to be out? Yep. Oh, not in the round. You can sub him off, but in match week 2, you can take him out.
I've got a quick question for you, fellas. With your Limitless, I know that the objective is to get the best players, but would you leave it for week 3 for a reason being that teams are going to rotate, so you might be able to get all these players that are going to be playing in the last week of the group stage that aren't going to be playing come knockout. So like Eze possibly for England, or all these sort of fringe players, maybe a Watkins.
100%, mate. And the other good reason using it on the last day is 1 for that reason, but 2 because teams can finish 3rd now and still go through. There's actually a lot of teams that have stuff to play for that you can pick from, and you get obviously the unlimited budget. The only downside to saving it to match week 3 compared to 2 is if all the stronger teams have qualified, then you're kind of missing out, because the whole point of a Limitless is to get the most expensive, best players in. But yeah, there's never any guarantees that the most expensive players are going to do well because, you know, players like De Bruyne, for example, or Foden, they're not playing for Man City anymore. So yeah, it's an interesting one, mate. But yeah, I'd say right now, looking at the way the fixtures add up, match week 3 is the best week. For sure. So just a couple more comments. Schick as well for Czech. So Schick for Czech Republic. He's one that scored from like the halfway line in the Euros last time. Thanks, Graham, for tuning in. Thanks, Neo, for tuning in. And Zachary, are you sure Dumfries is going to start? Heard Frimpong. Yeah, we're not sure, mate. We've heard that that Dumfries might not start now. So I reckon it's a 50-50. But let's leave it there. Yeah, thanks again, lads. I'm FPLMattDay. We've got FPL Roo and Q, so go give all of us a follow. We'll see you all in the next one. I'm sure we'll be back for some sort of stream during the next week, probably for match week 2. We'll try and get together again. So we'll see you all there. Bye for now.